strongly influenced by the Reformed tradition. Their hopes for spiritual renewal were dashed when James I, Elizabeth's successor, showed no interest in radical reform. This was when the Pilgrim Fathers set sail for safety in America. Then, under Charles I, Puritans were often persecuted. The Commonwealth of Oliver Cromwell gave Puritans a voice in national affairs. But it was short-lived. The monarchy was restored in 1660, and in 1662 hundreds of Puritans were forced out of the Church of England in the Great Ejection. Many went underground, holding secret meetings, called conventicles, or gathering congregations in their homes. But by the end of the 17th century, the movement had ceased to exist as a distinct force in national life. Yet the spirituality of Puritanism lives on in its writings. Here we find a rich store of treasures which continue to provide both theological clarity and pastoral comfort. It is these treasures I've plundered in this book. Around half the prayers in this book are Puritan prayers which I've edited. The other half I've created out of descriptive passages from Puritan sermons or books. In both cases, I've updated the language while trying to retain the feel of the original writers. Choosing extracts was not easy. Samuel Bolton, John Bunyan, Jeremiah Burroughs, and Ezekiel Hopkins were all well represented on the shortlist, but somehow didn't quite make the final cut. I hope that this book will give you a flavor of Puritan spirituality that might prompt you to explore their writing further. But that has not been my primary aim. My primary aim has been to provide prayers to be prayed. These prayers are not historical curiosities. They are powerful expressions of faith that can enrich our spiritual lives. That's why I've organized them under headings that flag up when and how they might be used. They're designed to be put to work. You could read one a day, but you can also turn to them in need. You could use them on your own, but you can also use them in public worship. The Puritan Ezekiel Hopkins describes God as the great proprietor. Everything we could desire, whether spiritual or temporal blessings, whether greater faith, love, patience, or humility, are on the shelves in God's great department store, or in the catalogue of his online outlet. And prayer, says Hopkins, is a means appointed by God to obtain those blessings and mercies of which we stand in need. Then he changes the imagery. Our prayers and God's mercy are like two buckets in a well. While the one ascends, the other descends. So while our prayers ascend to God in heaven, his mercies and blessings descend upon us. Here are 80 prayers to fill our buckets with before we send them up to God and wait for his bucket of blessing to come down to us. Prayers of Praise to the Father. 1. Kind and tender. Loving Father, may we see you as love, not with anxious and doubtful thoughts, nor questioning your goodwill and kindness, but seeing in your heart the fountain of all goodness. May we not look on you as a frowning Father, but as a Father who is most kind and tender. For your love is the love of one who is all-sufficient, infinitely satiated with yourself and your glorious perfections, with no need to look for love in others. There might you have rested in contentment forever, rejoicing in your Son for all eternity. But you chose to love your saints, seeking not your satisfaction alone, but our good. This is your love, the love of a Father, going out in kindness and bounty. Your love is an eternal love, fixed on us before the foundation of the world, before we were or had done the least good. This thought alone makes all that is within us leap for joy. We prostrate our souls in humble, holy reverence and rejoice before you with trembling. Help us, we pray, to believe that such is your fatherly heart towards us. May our minds know it. May our wills embrace it.